Just a reminder, these are all my opinions and are of course subject to change. This is all subjective after all. Discussion is always welcome, just don't be a butthead. You know, typically I love watching what most people would consider to be bad movies. Even the ones that end up in the plain garbage pile still had moments that I enjoyed. I thought it would take a lot in order to break me, but I was wrong. So very, very wrong. Never has a movie made me actually groan and sigh out loud multiple times. Get f***ed, it's fucking stupid Cars 2. I want to say that yes, I know and am aware this is a movie for kids. But I'd like to think that not even kids are stupid enough to like this movie. The first Cars movie is pretty good in my opinion. It tells a wholesome story about being a little more humble and not being an asshole to everyone around you because those people are real and connection is important. I never really questioned the Cars universe because we don't really see much outside the races and Radiator Springs. Cars 2, on the other hand, makes me question everyone that worked on this movie and why they did the things they did. Airplanes are sentient beings that shuffle cars around in what is essentially their stomach. Giant farm equipment are stupid animals, but birds are small airplanes? Trains are sentient and carry around cars in their stomachs too. And battleships also exist, but they have guns? So is that them pooping at the enemies? Which also raises the question about armies, because we can clearly see that there are nations with car armies. And a bigger question now is how did these things age? Because in the third movie, Lightning McQueen is supposed to be this old relic from the past, but he looks exactly the same. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh right, the movie. Cars 2 opens with a cryptic message from a car spy before we cut to Finn McMissile, voiced by Alfred himself, Michael Caine. A battleship arrives and scares off his boat taxi, so he becomes Spider Car for a moment and attaches himself to the battleship. It takes him to an oil rig where he sees his spy buddy has been cubed. We are 4 minutes into this movie, and Cars 2 just dropped death and body mutilation at the same time. McMissile kills a ton of cars before making his grand escape, which is super easy because he's also part boat. He gets chased by the battle boats and turns into a submarine in order to fake his own death and escape. After the spy car intro, we then cut to Lightning McQueen. Oh wait, no, it's Mater.
You suck!
The most annoying and disliked character from the first movie. Yay. Mater tows a car back to town, and would you believe it, Lightning McQueen finally shows up in this movie. Remember the opening to the first one? How McQueen tells himself that he is speed over and over while we get flashes of the race? Clips of cars racing by, Lightning hyping himself up before the back door to his truck opens, and the first time we see a car is him coming out of the shadows. Man, that was a good opening. This movie's opening sucks. So now that McQueen is back, Mater has him do all these things he's been planning, because while McQueen is away racing, Mater has no purpose in life apparently.
I don't know. What do you normally do when I'm gone?
Wait for you to get back.
Turns out that McQueen wants to have dinner with just him and Sally, and even though he did everything that Mater wanted, it makes him get all sad and depressed. But that's okay because he sneaks into the restaurant they're going to and pretends to be their waiter. Oh goody. During all this stupidity, Mater calls into the news to yell at Formula 1 race car Francesco about how McQueen is better than him. McQueen, however, didn't want to be in the worldwide Grand Prix race, but then because Mater makes him look like an idiot because Mater sucks, McQueen ends up joining the race. This worldwide Grand Prix is being put on by Miles Axelrod, who is promoting his new clean fuel by having all the racers use it. So McQueen, for some dumb reason, brings Mater with him and they end up in Tokyo. At a fancy party for the event, Mater thinks wasabi is pistachio ice cream and eats an entire mouthful. This makes him look like a fool, and so McQueen yells at him and he scurries off. If this movie was about the worldwide Grand Prix race, and we got to follow McQueen as he struggles to keep up with Formula 1 cars and tracks that aren't big circles, that could be interesting. Instead, Cars 2 looked at the Disney whiteboard of ideas and decided to pick Mater to become a spy for some stupid reason. The first movie made it very clear that Lightning fucking McQueen is the main character, so why does this movie make us watch the most unlikable one from the entire franchise? Mater basically bumbles his way through the movie being a spy, but really he's just being an idiot, and through an insane amount of luck, he ends up being good at it. The British cars, which one is set up to be this weirdly forced romance with Mater, but they are both bad at being spies. Because at the party, after Cars 2 does a peeing your pants joke, going into the wrong bathroom in a foreign country joke, Japan has high-tech toilets joke, a bathroom poop joke, and then a fart joke.
This is the worst!
This American spy car decides to put his tracker on Mater, so the spies think he's their American contact. Then the bad guys capture and kill the American car by exploding him. The evil German scientist car, he created these cameras that can make cars explode, so he's a terrorist. There are terrorists in the Cars universe. At the race the next day, Mater wanders off because of the spy cars, and because he's too stupid to take his headset off, he ends up messing McQueen up and causes him to lose the race. This causes McQueen to get mad at Mater, and again, the movie tries to make us feel bad for Mater. But everything so far is Mater's fault, so he ends up leaving a goodbye note for McQueen, and through a series of more stupid events, teams up with the dumb spy cars. They end up in France and go to this black market of car parts. But wouldn't that mean these are all basically human parts? I don't understand the Cars universe and how it operates. Can you just sell body parts?
I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand.
The second race gets ready to start, and everyone's on edge because at the end of the first race, a couple of cars randomly exploded. Everyone is pointing fingers at the new fuel, but the billionaire says the show must go on. During all this, McQueen is a little sad crybaby because sending Mater home made him feel bad. Why is Mater this guy's best friend? McQueen is a 4-time Piston Cup champion and arguably one of the most famous cars on the planet because cars in other countries know who he is. So why would he choose to be friends with Mater, who only ever caused problems for him? The whole message of this movie is supposed to be something along the lines of be who you are, but maybe some people shouldn't be invited to classy rich events where acting professional and having manners is kind of required. They made everyone from the first movie feel so out of character that even the brief moments Lightning is in this movie, he doesn't feel like the same car we saw in the first movie. So yeah, the second race happens and Mater goes undercover as a tow truck to a meeting of evil cars. The bad guys blow up more cars and the spy cars are captured. Evil receding hairline German scientist car, he gasses Mater, which causes him to trip out and finally realize that he's the most unlikable character to ever exist in any animated movie. This makes me want to watch the B movie, and I hate that movie. Mater and the fish and chips team wake up in Big Bentley, about to be crushed when Mater has his first and only good idea. He's able to break free and races off to save McQueen from being killed. This movie ends with Mater having a bomb in him, the car queen is there, and the billionaire guy is actually the mastermind behind it all. Mater's able to figure it all out because plot, and the day is saved. The billionaire guy was being bad because he had control over the world's oil supplies so that when his new fuel was deemed explosive, everyone would rush back to oil, making him rich? So the mega rich wealthy guy created a bad fuel so the world that is currently running on oil and gas would turn to this new fuel, so when it failed, they would all go back to gas?
That's just stupid.
Plus, if you have Mater, a random tow truck, explode and kill Lightning McQueen, how would that make your fuel look bad? It ends with all the race cars from the Grand Prix, including the ones that exploded, all racing in Radiator Springs. The end, thank God. Way to ruin a franchise before it even had the chance to be anything. Coming out 5 years after the smash hit of the first one was already a risky move. But making the follow-up a car spy movie that barely has the main character in it and forces us to have more Mater than any human should ever have to watch is a terrible idea. I also can't tell if this movie is pro-environment or pro-big oil. It starts with a very green message, but by the end, it kind of feels like it was never there at all. I'll tell you one thing this movie is very pro: vehicle manslaughter, or vehicle car slaughter. Why did Cars 2 put so much death in a Cars movie? Cars 2 is as good as Blueberries Are Blue.
Blueberries are fucking purple!
Everyone involved with this movie should never be allowed to work in Hollywood again. You're on a list. Cars 2, fuck you, plain garbage. Thank you, goodbye. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to check out my video on the movie Geostorm. Check out all the videos from Disaster Month. Like, subscribe, and comment down below what movie you'd like to see me cover in the future.